So our next speaker is Anu Acharya from Map My Genome. In 2013, 13 years after she had moved back to India and already started up a very successful business, it was research as a service for scientists in the genomic space. Everything was set, right? She had raised enough money, she had made acquisitions which were global, and one would think that, she didn't need to do more. But clearly she wasn't satisfied because she wanted to run a business that had direct impact on people's lives. She put her thinking hat on. What she came up with was Map My Genome. She left her first baby to start up her second, and please welcome Anu Acharya on stage. She'll be talking to us about her journey from the roots to results.
There is this beautiful quote by Johann Wolfgang Goethe that says that there are two things that the children should get from their parents. That is roots and wings. So if you get the right kind of roots which give you the right grounding, and the fact that you have the confidence to fly and confidence to be able to do what you want to do, I think that makes the biggest difference. An important part of being able to build something that's innovative is to have the right attitude among the team members compared to what we are, compared to the aptitude, because you want them to also be able to work as a team. Now, some of the biggest risks that we took was to be able to acquire our first company in Germany without having any external financing. And I think that was a very interesting way of being able to do something completely unusual. The second was to be able to acquire another large company in the US, which had a market cap of $2 billion, and we had a much, much smaller revenue base at that time. The biggest reward was to be able to create a 100 crore business with Ossimum, but more importantly, I think, was to be able to say, can I create something that will impact 100 million people's lives? And I think that is what drives me today in Ossimum. As growing up as an entrepreneur, there were three main lessons that I learned. The first is that cash flow is king, regardless of whatever money you can raise from anywhere. And if you can't make money on unit economics, you are probably making a mistake. The second is arrogance can kill, right? And as young startups, we have arrogance in plenty when we first start, and I think that can be that can also kill. And the third important thing was that a dwarf can never scale, which basically means that if you have something that doesn't have the potential, doesn't have the market size, you are never going to be able to scale. So I think these were the three main things that we learned. And building the right things at the right time, I think that was core for us, saying how do you build a team first? How do you build relationships with your team? How do you build relationships with your customers and everything else? And most importantly, I think, was to build a culture from day one, right? And it has to be there no matter what people told you that you can postpone it to. Thank you.
Our next speaker is someone who worked with TCS, Microsoft, and Computer Associates, mostly in software product roles, before he decided to start up just a few years ago. The company he co-founded, now Floats, is in the business of creating easy websites. And when Jas says easy, he means 3 SMSs and 13 minutes to create a website. Now, the company is based out of Hyderabad. They filed 6 patents, and all of them are around the search engine optimization platform that they've built in-house. Please put your hands together for Jaswinder Singh Gulati. He'll be talking to us about marketing with no money.
Even though I'm a first-time entrepreneur, my first thing when I hear about these successful people is to say, it's easy for you to say it. That's what all of you must be thinking. It's easy for Raj to say, I did not write a business plan. I bet half of you are thinking, which VC has ever spoken to you without a business plan, right? Things can happen and do happen, and all that is required is you, and your ability and your passion and your grit and your commitment, right? Everything else just happens. As a startup, marketing is obviously one of the few things that are critical as the product, as I say. And I always say that the product and marketing are not two separate entities. They've absolutely merged together. Either you create a product which is absolutely kick-ass and everybody wants it, then you do not need any marketing. And then that's how typically the classic Silicon Valley thinks, right? If you go to the Valley, the largest difference between us and the Silicon Valley is when they create a product, their focus on the product is so high that if it doesn't have virality built inside the product, they typically will not do it, right? I mean, there are so many examples in the Valley where, you make a product and you have 1 million users. Half of us will die to get 1 million users, maybe 2 million, maybe 10 million users. And they get up and say, we're not doing this anymore because we couldn't go beyond 10 million. It should have gone to 1 billion overnight. It did not go. Have you ever seen a hoarding for WhatsApp? Did you see Indigo Airlines ad before you first time took an Indigo Airlines in your life? But all of us take Indigo by choice. We first click on Indigo. Is that a fair statement to make? So the product itself has done the marketing. You've got to so focus on what you're doing that the whole world wants you. So focus on that first, which is, by the way, free. No money. I think the second way to look at marketing, if you have less money, is perhaps not to get confused about marketing, right? In India, marketing typically starts from advertising, not marketing. It starts, there's confusion between advertising and marketing. You want to be on TV, you want to be on a big hoarding in all the places in Hyderabad, and that's how you're going to build your brand. And in that lies, not a lot of flaw. It's a brilliant thing if you can raise the money to do it, but it's a little far away. As Indians, it's not in our DNA, pun intended. It's not in our DNA to be really vocal. And in that, we get confused. If you're an entrepreneur, you're marketing 24/7, pun intended. You're always doing that, right? You're always talking, you're living your brand, you're breathing your brand. You take every opportunity from the flight that the guy sitting next to you to, the Ola/Uber driver that you're talking to. If you're not talking about your brand all the time, you're missing out. Every single moment is a marketing moment. And it's free. Twitter is free, Facebook is free, talking to the Ola driver is free, doing digital Desh is free. Everything is actually free, guys. It just requires you to start doing it and to get on to that. And once you do the first one, you realize how easy it is to do this. How many people align with your thoughts. And that's, by the way, also feedback for your product that is going to work or not, right? If there are not many people buying into what you're thinking about your product, it's probably not a great idea to go forward and do that. We at Nowfloats have been slightly lucky to do some marketing with very different means as well. And we went out and searched for partners, searched for people whom we thought had an alignment with us and had the money to spend along with us because we had a very compelling product. In the month of May, what became as a product input strategy, which we call Digital Desh, is when we put four people in a car, drove from Amritsar to Kanyakumari. And we thought this was going to help us improve our product, which we did. I don't want to get in there. But the fact that what we thought was a simple act of product learnings became a marketing platform. We've got Google on the table, we've got Internet Association of India, we've got Paytm, we've got huge number of people on our table doing this with us now. And we've been very open and simple. We said, guys, we don't have a lot of money to do this. We need your money to come and help us. And then that's what the power of creativity, the power of what you want to do. There'll be a lot of people who will want to work with you.
Don't realize and then you start actually from a earlier our website